For centuries, the most brilliant minds in Europe obsessed over a single, impossible metallurgical trick, taking dead, dull lead and forcing it to crack open, revealing brilliant, radiating gold. In 1677, a text appeared in France claiming to finally outline the exact step-by-step recipe for this transformation. It became known as the Mutus Liber. But as you look at this first instructional page, you'll notice a massive hurdle. This highly technical manual contains absolutely 0 words. To modernize, this looks like a chaotic collage of bizarre mythological art. But to a 17th century practitioner, every angel, flask, and celestial body formed a precise laboratory blueprint. The author intentionally encrypted the instructions visually. If a reader couldn't decipher the specific interactions between these symbols, they were entirely locked out. To read the recipe, we have to perform a vertical autopsy of this page, tracking the flow of information straight down from top to bottom. Decoding this visual hierarchy reveals the core philosophy of early modern chemistry. It required a strict union between earthly labor in the laboratory and divine grace from above. Our investigation starts at the absolute top of the visual hierarchy, the cosmos. When we look closely at the face inside this sun, we aren't looking at a literal star. In this context, it represents the divine intellect, the prime mover of the universe. Its function in this blueprint is constant outward projection. Those jagged rays represent the radiating, chaotic energy required to spark life or force base matter to evolve. Moving down the page, that raw energy immediately hits 2 winged figures. These act as spiritual intermediaries, catching the celestial output between heaven and earth. They are holding a massive, ethereal teardrop. If you look inside it, you can see 3 distinct figures, representing Neptune, the sun, and the moon, suspended in a liquid. This imagery depicts the collection of philosophical dew. This later page from the same manual illustrates the concept more literally, showing practitioners spreading physical sheets across the ground to capture and condense invisible astral energy from the night sky into a usable liquid. This step is built into the recipe because human hands cannot catch raw divine power. The energy has to be gathered, processed, and condensed by these celestial intermediaries before a human can safely interact with it. Now we drop all the way down to the physical, earthly plane at the very bottom of the page. Here we see the human alchemist and his partner. Notice their primary physical posture. They aren't mixing chemicals, they are kneeling in prayer. Between them sits the athanor, a specialized brick furnace built specifically to maintain a steady, continuous heat for chemical distillation. Pacing quickens slightly. Compare the shape of the small glass flask heating inside the earthly furnace to the massive ethereal tear held by the angels above. Their geometry is identical. This mirror effect is the core instruction. The human practitioners are using their glass equipment to physically replicate the invisible divine condensation happening directly above them. The blueprint dictates that no amount of physical chemical labor will produce gold unless that labor is structurally and spiritually aligned with the mechanics of heaven. Pulling back, we see these elements function as a single closed-loop circuit. Power originates with the divine intellect at the top, is condensed by angels, channeled downward through the praying humans, and injected into the chemical fire. This system moves beyond the common image of an early chemist blindly boiling lead in darkness. By linking the state of the laboratory furnace to the state of the angels, the Mutus Liber frames alchemy as a holistic discipline. Perfecting the equipment meant nothing if the alchemist hadn't first cultivated a perfected soul. The absence of text forces a different type of labor. To understand these images, a practitioner had to spend years meditating on their internal relationships, a mental discipline that mirrored the extreme patience required for the physical work. The ultimate secret hidden in the Mutus Liber is its function. It is a recipe for transforming base metals, yes, but the manual itself is the tool designed to transform the alchemist.